Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Hughie Fury has stepped to the plate with a bold prediction that he will knock out Joseph Parker in 4 rounds. Yes, you heard that correct, 4 rounds, when they meet on September 23rd in Manchester, England to fight for Parker's WBO heavyweight belt. So I caught this on the radio when I was in my car coming home, and I thought, boy, wow, Fury is upping the ante again. And it looks like we can expect some fireworks in this fight. Well, I certainly hope so. So these specific comments come from an interview he did with an outfit I'm not familiar with, Raps on TV, which New Zealand media and others have subsequently picked up. So apart from the prediction, I mean, nothing else new of note in that, mainly raking over the coals of the general build-up, stuff we've already heard Hughie comment on before, like the whole Parker looking past him thing. So 2 things here. So I want to quickly cover this prediction, because it wasn't quite what I was expecting. And 2, I think it's worth dipping back into the build-up side and, you know, a few things that are happening on social media. I'd certainly note now that the build-up has been a little flat in the past couple of weeks. At times I've thought actually you'd hardly know there was a fight on between the two in just 3 weeks' time. But this prediction, not what I expected. I mean, and while Hughie Fury has said, and has been saying quite constantly actually, that he's going to win the fight and he expects to breeze through it, you know, I was more envisaging he'd do that by attempting to sort of put on a boxing clinic, use his natural height and reach advantage, jab Parker to death, box off the back foot and use the ring. So with all that sort of culminating in a sort of piling on the points and coming away with a handy points lead and ultimately the decision going his way. So this whole, I'm going to knock Parker out in the 4th round or in 4 rounds, I'm kind of still just wrapping my head around that. I mean, clearly it means he intends to trade with Parker while Parker's still fresh, that he's going to mix it up and be in there. We know that Parker's got a good chin. So I'm really keen to know what the fight plan is here. What is Hughie proposing to do to crack that code? Put Parker down. Obviously, we know Parker hasn't been down. We know that he's someone who has got a good chin in the amateurs as well. He was noted for a good chin. But obviously a lot of these guys, you know, sometimes the right opponent can do damage. But I've got to say, I really like to hear him say this sort of thing, this prediction, with such confidence. It shows he's coming into this upcoming fight with positive intent. And positive intent, that's what Parker is saying he's going to bring into this fight as well. Saying similar things. He's going to knock Fury out is his prediction. So if these guys are true to their word and really mix it up from the start of the fight, well, it could be a barnstormer. But I guess the caveat here is, and you know, we've heard these things before, is, you know, it is easy for fighters in a build-up, both of them in this case, to predict a knockout and an early finish. For all we know, it could end up being a snooze fest. But I do like to hear Fury come out and say he is going to KO Parker in 4 rounds. I'm really interested to sort of see what version of Hughie Fury turns up. We know that in the past he has kind of been hobbled a little bit by this sort of that pimple-related melody that he had. And he's saying he's got more zip in his punches, more power. So, I mean, maybe he comes in and does the business. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see on this one. So I'm looking to see what sort of punch he is going to be packing. So coming to the build-up side of things, you know, it's good to hear this sort of prediction. The build-up, it needs a shot in the arm like this. Something positive to talk about. The past few weeks, they have been pretty ho-hum build-up wise. It's almost like the air in the balloon is slowly escaping. And the momentum that had been building up was just, you know, just sort of ebbing away. It certainly wasn't increasing. You know, I'm still not sure what Hennessy Sports' promotional strategy for this fight is. A lot of subscribers, UK-based subscribers and other commenters on my channel and elsewhere are saying there is very little buzz in the UK about this fight. It's a concern. So you throw in the rumours of poor ticket sales that just won't go away and has not been addressed by Hennessy Sports, the pedestrian undercard, because it is, and the as yet unknown broadcast arrangements. Well, those are some of the things that, you could nip that sort of stuff in the bud if things were tidy. I mean, when more time in recent weeks is being spent discussing that sort of stuff, it puts into perspective how well or otherwise the build-up to this fight is going. I mean, there had been, up until a couple of weeks ago, a nice little sort of back and forth between Parker and Fury, an increasing war of words between the two. It had been, it was mostly respectful, because that's the sort of guys they are, but there was an edge to it. And the surprising thing about that was, we weren't really used to these sort of guys engaging in that sort of back and forth. It kind of wasn't out of character, but it was sort of, on the bounds, on the outer edge of sort of what they would normally do. Normally sort of, very humble, very respectful, don't say too much, and, do the talking in the ring with their fists. But there was this back and forth, and, it was really good to see. And I've got to say, I like a bit of banter, especially the sort of stuff that had been going on, that back and forth. But the narrative, it has started to go beyond what I'd consider banter. And it was actually some Kevin Barry comments about Hughie not wanting to come to New Zealand earlier this year that set Hughie off, and it's kind of started a couple of things that, it's just soured things for me a little bit about that back and forth banter. So here was some response to, from in the last couple of weeks, to some Kevin Barry comments that Hughie had posted about. There's a fine line with these sorts of things, and then it starts to become a little bit unseemly and just outright spiteful. I mean, on screen, also a few choice words that Hughie has had for Parker's sparring partner, Malik Scott. And then this video surfaced on Twitter.
4 weeks and you're getting it, you little fucking bitch. Fucking wanker. Fucking wanker. That's the fucking winner there. One and only, Hughie Fury. Go on.
So I'm not really sure this sort of thing really helps sell the fight or help the fight. Not really sure who's advising Fury with his social media. It certainly is a little bit scattergun here with the approach. I would rather see, and I'm going to end the video with this, more of the following that both have previously been posting on social media.